The bombshell revelation that Jeffrey Goldberg, editor-in-chief of The Atlantic, was privy to top-secret deliberations on U.S. airstrikes in Yemen has sent shockwaves through Washington, D.C., igniting a firestorm of bipartisan outrage and raising serious questions about national security protocols within the Trump administration. The incident, detailed in Goldberg's explosive exposé, paints a picture of alarming carelessness and a potentially devastating breach of classified information. The narrative unfolds with Goldberg recounting his unexpected inclusion in a Signal group chat, a seemingly innocuous addition that rapidly escalated into a front-row seat to the inner workings of a critical military operation. Within this digital war room, Goldberg witnessed what he identifies as high-ranking Trump administration officials, including Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio, engaging in real-time debate and coordination of a series of devastating airstrikes targeting Houthi rebels in Yemen. The sheer audacity of the situation is staggering. The highest levels of the U.S. government seemingly conducting sensitive military planning within a readily accessible, easily compromised messaging app. The fallout has been immediate and fierce. Democratic senators, their voices laced with disbelief and indignation, have launched a full-scale inquiry into the circumstances surrounding Goldberg's inclusion in the group chat. Their demand for answers from the U.S. intelligence community is not merely a political maneuver. It's a desperate attempt to understand the extent of the breach and to prevent future occurrences. The senator's characterization of the leak as sloppy and careless is a significant understatement. This wasn't a simple oversight. It was a flagrant disregard for national security protocols, a profound lapse in judgment that could have catastrophic consequences. The Senate Intelligence Committee hearing, intended as an annual review of national threats, transformed into a tense interrogation, with Democratic senators relentlessly pressing Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard and CIA Director John Ratcliffe on their roles in the unfolding scandal. Gabbard, a controversial figure herself, facing accusations of pro-Russian sympathies, offered little in the way of concrete answers, citing an ongoing review by the National Security Council, a response that only served to fuel the already burning flames of suspicion and discontent. Her reticence, coupled with the gravity of the situation, further eroded public trust in the intelligence community's ability to safeguard sensitive information. The involvement of National Security Advisor Michael Waltz, whom Goldberg identified as the individual responsible for adding him to the group, has also come under intense scrutiny. President Trump's defense of Waltz only adds another layer to this complex and increasingly troubling saga. The president's unwavering support, irrespective of the apparent security breach, raises questions about his commitment to protecting sensitive national security information and the potential for such lapses to occur again under his leadership. The implications of this extraordinary incident extend far beyond the immediate political fallout. The incident highlights the inherent vulnerabilities of relying on readily accessible communication platforms for sensitive government discussions. In an era of sophisticated cyber warfare and increasingly sophisticated espionage tactics, the use of readily compromised messaging apps for high-stakes military planning represents an unacceptable level of risk. The lack of robust security protocols, as evident in this case, raises concerns about the wider vulnerability of U.S. national security to potential adversaries. The broader concern revolves around the potential for foreign actors to exploit such breaches, gaining access to crucial military intelligence and potentially disrupting U.S. operations. The seemingly casual approach to information security displayed by the Trump administration raises serious concerns about the ability of the U.S. government to effectively respond to evolving threats in the digital age. The sheer carelessness shown in this instance is simply staggering. It's a blatant disregard for the principles of national security and could have far-reaching and potentially disastrous consequences. The story underscores a need for a thorough review of communication protocols within the U.S. government. The reliance on readily accessible messaging apps for sensitive discussions must be reassessed, and more robust security measures must be implemented to prevent future breaches. This isn't just about protecting sensitive information, it's about protecting the national security of the United States itself. The consequences of another similar incident could be catastrophic. The situation demands immediate and decisive action, a comprehensive review of protocols, and perhaps most importantly, a renewed commitment to the fundamental principles of national security. The seemingly casual manner in which this sensitive information was handled is utterly unacceptable and calls for significant reforms within the highest echelons of power. The implications are far-reaching and demand immediate attention. The security of the nation is at stake.